All right, guys. Welcome back to the Let's Talk Ball pod. This is episode 42. I am your host, Tochi, aka Toch Talks Ball, joined by my good friend Spain and co-host, and we are here to talk about Game Week 16 of the Premier League. We're going to give our awards, and then we're going to also look ahead to Game Week 17 at the end. But before we do that, Spain, how are you doing?
Doing well. Went down to Raleigh over the weekend, or I guess Friday, Saturday for my cousin's graduation. So good to get back to Raleigh. Got some good amount of soccer watching in. So yeah, good time. How are you?
Nice. Yeah, been good as well. Didn't do too much this weekend, but I did enjoy all the soccer that was on. It's been long weekends waiting for Manchester United to play because I feel like we're either like the Sunday 7 a.m. game or Monday night game every single week. But saw a crazy one last night against Bournemouth. We'll get into that later, but in general, doing well. I do want to take a second to thank you guys for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, engage with us, please. If there's something that you want to see more of, let us know. Anything you want to see less of, or places where we lose you, let us know about that as well. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. Shout out to Christian for giving us a comment on our last one. Or I guess it was 2 podcasts ago, but still, shout out to Christian for watching and engaging. I appreciate that. Let's see. Before we jump into Game Week 16, anything else you want to say at the top of the pod?
Yeah, I'll just give a quick shout out to NC State men's soccer team. We made it to the national championship for the first time in the program's history. Unfortunately, we lost to Washington. Lost in a heartbreaker in extra time. They do golden goal in college soccer, and we lost, but it was a good comeback. So great season for the Wolfpack. Unfortunately, weren't able to take the trophy home, but still a great season and good for the program.
Nice.
One thing that was funny though is we went to an Irish pub to watch it, and there was a British guy there, and he looked up at the clock at one point. He goes, "Why they stopped the clock at goals?" I'm like, yeah, and they count down. He was like, what? And then we had to explain to him also his golden goal, so he was couldn't wrap his head around how college soccer, the rules around college soccer in the U.S.
That's funny. I bet that was a bit of a culture shock for him.
Fortunately, I definitely agreed with him. I don't know why the rules are set that way. I mean, the clock doesn't really affect any other part of the game in terms of like the grand scheme of things, so I don't know why they don't switch it to how it's normally done across soccer and also with extra time with the golden goal rule, but it is what it is. The NCAA has some strange rules.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. I honestly, myself, I don't watch any college soccer, so I didn't even realize that was a thing. I'm surprised they have not changed the rules, and I'm interested to see if that's something that they're at least thinking about, just because I don't know. I feel like that would, in a way, maybe that's just me being snobby, but I feel like that would kind of turn me off of the sport a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does for me. And I mean, I think they're proposing or have already agreed to make a big change and extend the season to be both fall and spring to mimic like European soccer seasons, which is way bigger of a change and not as necessary as like just changing the clock and the extra time rule, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is interesting. Huh. Well, shout out to the Pack. Good for them for getting that far. I feel like they had some good games along the way, and they fought till the end. Unfortunately, it just was not quite enough, but maybe NC State will get a national championship in some major sport soon enough, hopefully.
Let's hope so.
Basketball team looked decent against Kansas the other day.
We did.
Overtime.
Yeah, needed that win, but we had 3 good chances to win and weren't able to convert on any of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's enough of this American talk, American sports. Let's go back to the Premier League, go across the pond. Game Week 16 of the Premier League. As always, we like to run through our awards at the top of every podcast. So we'll talk about the previous week, and we'll talk about our winners of the week, losers of the week, the match of the week, goal of the week, fraud watch, awards like that. You'll get the gist. So starting from the top, we have our winners of the week. Who was yours, Spain?
I got 2. The first one is Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool have been struggling a little bit of lately. A lot of drama with Mo Salah, who was on the bench but didn't start. Isak, their other big striker, on top of Wirtz. Neither of them have really been performing, especially Isak with only 2 goals on the season. But Hugo Ekitike stepped up for them, bagged them a brace, It's been really just a fantastic signing for them. I think he needs more time still and like more playing time because he's been swapped out a good bit with Isak some as of late. But yeah, I think Hugo Ekitike kind of putting his foot down or like marking that or saying like I should be the starter. I'm performing better than Salah, better than Isak, and basically better than anyone on the team apart from Szoboszlai, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that's a great shout. It's been fun. I mean, he was a player that I really, really wanted at United. He was my top striker target for a little bit this summer, and so I was disappointed when he ended up going to Liverpool. And then I was a little bit confused about what his career path was going to look like with Isak coming in. And there was all the drama over the summer with the Isak, holding out at Newcastle, the big price tag, all this, and Ekitike is the one that has risen to the top amid all this craziness that's going on at Liverpool. I think he's been one of the steady eddies in that team, and a team that doesn't have many of those. Like you said, I think besides Szoboszlai, I don't think you can point to another player that's performed like as consistently as good as he has. So shout out to Ekitike for really just putting his head down and proving any sort of doubters wrong about his talent levels and his ability to compete with Isak as well.
Mm-hmm. And then who was your winner of the week? I've got one more after you go.
My winner of the week was Sunderland. I don't think this win was that crazy in isolation, but if you understand the context around it, it was Sunderland. They're finally back in the Premier League. This is the first time playing Newcastle at home in the Premier League in over 10 years, and they won a massive, massive game. Wasn't a pretty one. Neither team really created many chances, but the ball went in the back of the net for Sunderland, and getting to see them celebrate that win against one of their biggest rivals, or not one of, probably their biggest rival in one of the biggest rivalries in the Premier League. It was just really cool to see that. And I thought I was really happy to see the scenes afterwards. I'll talk about that for my moment of the week in a second, but Sunderland are my winners.
Nice. Yeah, speaking of that game, they won off of a Nick Voltemade own goal. And own goal is my other winner of the week. I think there were 4 own goals this weekend. Wolves had 2 to help Arsenal get the win. Voltemade had 1 that helped Sunderland get the win. And then Mavropanos had an own goal for West Ham against who did West Ham play?
They played
Villa? Yeah, against Villa, which helped Villa get the win. So own goal was a winner of the week.
Yeah, I like that as well. There were some crazy own goals as well. Like Bukayo Saka's off the post, off the back of the keeper was interesting. And then you thought Gabby Jesus got the header to win that one, and then ended up coming off the Wolves player instead. Voltemada's was like a nuts kind of not deflectioner, but the angle that it came off his head was just killer header if he was playing for the other team.
I was gonna say it looked like he was attacking the ball the way he was running onto it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so some nuts own goals, but I think that's a good shout. And then loser of the week, who you got here?
Tottenham Hotspurs. They looked dreadful. Like a .33 XG against Forest, who are down in 16th place, I think. Yeah, just looking dreadful. Gotta love to see it. Yeah, they're bad. They tease you. They look good every once in a while. We praised Xavi Simons recently. Yeah. And then they just pull out a stinker like this. What do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a rough game. I watched some of the highlights of that one, and I don't know, Vicario, man, that guy's doing some crazy stuff over there. And
yeah, don't spoil one of the things later. But yeah, he's bad.
I will leave that one there. But this Spurs team are just, the vibes are bad. The vibes are so bad for them. I don't really know what's going on. I mean, I was really, really high on Thomas Frank coming into the season, and I don't think he's covered himself in glory either. I don't know if I can point to it and be he just doesn't quite have the players to succeed, or it's the players letting him down in moments, which I do think it is, but I also think there's just something over there isn't gelling, and it's resulting in what we're seeing here. I knew Spurs were overperforming at the beginning of the season, but they seem like they've really just taken a nosedive.
Yep.
All right. Let's look ahead now to match of the week. I can take this one because I put it in the notes, unless you've got a different one.
Yeah, no, that's my match of the week too, so I'll let you take that one.
Nice. So match of the week was Manchester United versus Bournemouth, a 4-4 thriller at Old Trafford. I don't want to get too into the nitty gritty here because we will cover it in more detail later in the pod after the awards, but it was an absolutely nuts game. If you guys were watching that, I feel like as a neutral fan, like that was an insane game to watch, a very fun one to watch. I didn't think anything was really going to top the City versus Fulham 5-4 match, but even though that one had more goals, I thought this one was a little bit of a crazier back and forth. Like it wasn't one team going up 5-1 and then a comeback. It was, United would go up and then Bournemouth went up and then United came back to just go up again and then Bournemouth tied it up. And at the end, it was like, I remember texting, I was like, I have zero idea what's about to happen in the last 10 minutes of this game. Like anybody could have won it. I thought there was going to be a winning goal, but there wasn't. But it was crazy, crazy game. And that's got to be the match of the week, maybe even match of the season I've seen so far.
Yeah, we got two nice free kick goals in there too. Just both defenses are pretty open, like chances going right down the middle. Nuts game.
Yeah. Yep. And then moving on, we've got the moment of the week. I just alluded to this a little bit earlier, but for me, after the Sunderland match, I stuck around to watch the post-match scenes, and I thought that was like probably my favorite moment of the weekend, watching soccer across all different leagues and whatnot. Watching the way that the Sunderland fans and the players were all celebrating together was a special, special moment. I think we were just talking a little bit beforehand, before we started recording, about the song that they sing afterwards or before the games and afterwards, just the energy that the whole stadium had, and feel like hearing that literally gave me chills just watching the broadcast. And I couldn't imagine if I was in the stadium for that. And then they also, they were taking a big group photo on the field afterwards, which I thought was weird, but then I heard the story behind it. And it's because 2 years ago in the FA Cup was the last time that Sunderland and Newcastle had played. And Newcastle knocked Sunderland out of the FA Cup at Sunderland's home ground at the Stadium of Light, and then took a team photo on the field afterwards. And it was a big slap in the face. And so the Sunderland team made sure to be like, hey, we remember that you did that. And they got their own team photo afterwards and got to relish in that. So really great scenes. And that was definitely my moment of the week.
Nice. Yeah, I heard you singing that song before we got on. We started recording. How's the song go? You want to give us the little acapella version, or?
I'll give you guys a pre-recorded one, and I'll post it along with the pod.
Nice. I've actually got a moment of the week too.
Okay.
It was almost a lot sweeter than it was, but Gabriel Jesus coming back, and I think getting his first minutes in the Prem. He's gotten, I think, maybe one or two brief appearances. But him getting his first appearance in the Prem, I believe, and maybe the first at home at the Emirates, was awesome to see. Nearly got the winner. It would have been incredible if he would have scored that goal. Also, take the winner, but the moment would have been just perfect if he would have scored that goal to get his late win.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool to see as well. I remember texting about that one with the group message as well, and I was actually kind of laughing to myself. I was like, imagine Gabby Jesus coming on and being like looking like a better striker than Gyökeres did in his quick little cameo. Like, I feel like that would have been a little bit of controversy within the Arsenal realm, but
for sure.
Still good for him to get his minutes. I'm happy to see him back out there. Always been such a quality player, and I think he's someone that Arsenal misses maybe more than some people realize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone forgets how good he was when he first arrived at Arsenal.
Mm-hmm. Definitely was a huge part of that attack for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else for moment of the week?
No, that's it for me.
All right. And that cues up goals of the week. We've got a few contenders here. I'll start from the top with mine, just because I'm a little biased, but that Bruno Fernandes free kick in that match against Bournemouth was absolutely nuts. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. Beautiful free kick around kind of the top left of the 18. But what for me made it so good was not only was it placed very nicely, but that moment of the game, United kind of got shell-shocked in that second half to start. They were down 3-2, really needed someone to really lift the team. It felt like you felt heads drop a little bit because we played so well in that game and we're losing out of nowhere. And, of course, who else but Bruno Fernandes to step up and take that free kick and sink it like that. I mean, it was just cold-blooded, and he's on an absolute tear right now. The guy, since the start of November, has 9 goals and assists, and that is the most in all of Europe's top 5 leagues across any player. So he's definitely on a pretty mad run right now.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely my goal of the week too. But another contender that I had was Morgan Rogers' belter from outside the box. Aston Villa just keep pulling out these bangers week after week.
Yeah,
Their training sessions must be a blast. Like half the training session must just be like long shot shooting practice because they're
gotta
just
be.
consistently pulling out these crazy goals.
Right? I don't know how they keep getting away with it, but I mean, if they after a certain while, if they keep hitting them, maybe it is a higher percentage shot than we all think.
And then another outside the box screamer was from Singare. This one was more a little outside the foot, but hit it first time. Not in Forest's, I think, believe center back, and then kind of like had some spin, hit the post, and went in. So another like really nice outside the box hit.
Yeah, he definitely that was a rocket of a hit. So that was a good one. And then my honorable mention for the goals of the week was Callum Hudson-Odoi. Definitely think he was just trying to cross it in the box for this one, but still the angle and the distance that he hit it from, and honestly, as far as crosses go, pretty wicked delivery. Ended up in the back of the net as well. So probably an accident, but still really cool goal to see. Not something you see every day.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I didn't have any player or performances of the week that really stuck out to me. Did you?
No, not really, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could pick like some names out. Like, I mean, Morgan Rogers had 2 goals in the game against Aston Villa, and I feel like, in general, I feel like he's kind of leveling up as a player, right in front of our eyes. I think he's always shown flashes, especially with his ball carrying and dribbling and stuff like that. But I did hear, I forget what podcast or something, maybe it was us discussing it, but someone was talking about how Emery basically said, I want you to step up your goal scoring this season, get more involved in the goal scoring. He said, get in the box as much as you can. And that's how Aston Villa's first goal, I believe, or at least his first goal in the game came about, was him getting in the box and crashing. And so I just like to see that Morgan Rogers is adding a little bit more to his game and leveling up. I think he's going to be one to watch as some of these, like when next summer rolls around. I don't know if any big clubs are going to try and take a chance on him.
Yeah, I could say Harry Wilson could be a performance of the week and also could go under unsung hero of the week. He's been having a crazy good run recently. I wasn't able to watch much of the Fulham game, but I know he had 2 assists and a goal, I believe. So he's just been on fire lately.
Yeah.
But I can't speak to his like overall performance, but just on fire at the moment.
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm actually thinking about looking at him in FPL here.
Nice.
Shall see. All right. We now surprise of the week. I'll hit on this one really quickly because this was mine as well. Mine was, I mean, simple enough. Was Wolves' late goal versus Arsenal. I think the fact that it came that late in the game was a shock, but then also just the fact that Wolves scored it all. The Wolves' offense or attack has looked absolutely atrocious all season, and Arsenal's defense has looked imperious. And I feel like that's still the Premier League where anybody can get anybody on any given day, and like that looked like one where it was like, wow, Wolves really going to draw Arsenal late. So that was the surprise of the week for me.
Nice. Yeah, that's a fair one. It was getting scary late when they scored that one. I thought we were definitely dropping points.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so too. I was like, I missed both the late goals. Like I heard it happen, so I ran back in the room to watch it as soon as I heard it. But I forget what I was doing, but I stepped away thinking like, oh, this game's probably over. Like Arsenal are going to see this at 1-0. And then when Wolves scored, I was like, wow, like there goes my, I think I was disappointed in my clean sheet for FPL.
Yeah.
And then I heard, I was on Xbox and I heard through the mic Kyle Gallagher yelling Saka. So he I guess got that assist at the end because we both captained Saka. So that was really cool to see. But
Nice.
it also had me nervous. All right. Move on to our fraud watch. Almost spoiled this one earlier in the podcast, but I will let you take this one.
Yeah, it's got to be Vicario for me. He had another poor performance in the 3-0 loss to Forest. The first goal, he put Archie Gray in a terrible position passing to him with his back turned to or facing his own goal, and then just got pickpocketed by, I can't remember who from Forest.
I think it was Sangare, actually.
Sangare, oh, nice. But yeah, just terrible pass by Vicario. I don't know what he's thinking there. And he just been making a lot of mistakes recently. He had that one terrible mistake against Fulham. And he just doesn't look that convincing from crosses. He's definitely on fraud watch. It might already be a fraud.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. I don't know what, maybe I'm painting all of his actions based on what I saw him do against Fulham, but yeah, I did not like the pass that he gave to Archie Gray in that game that put Tottenham down. And then he seems like a keeper. As someone that had to go through this experience with Onana and other in Bayern, he is a keeper that does not instill confidence in anyone in the team. Like, I feel like he makes moments more nervy than they need to be. Like, not good at clearing his lines off corners or claiming the crosses and that kind of stuff. And then even with the ball at his feet now, we've seen him put his team in bad situations. And yeah, so I definitely got to agree with this one. He's definitely on fraud watch, if not just confirmed fraud after this recent run.
Mm-hmm. And not that I don't know if Bailey had too much conviction behind this, but I remember a while ago he said that Vicario is Italy's #1 and singing his praises. So I had to bring that up because I vehemently disagreed with him and said Donnarumma is definitely #1. Then Donnarumma went through some bad times before he left, but Donnarumma was looking very solid, very good for City. Vicario's looking very poor for Spurs. And I think it'll be proven that Donnarumma will be Italy's #1 come the World Cup this summer.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance Vicario sneaks his way into that starting position at this point.
No.
All right. What about your pain of the week?
Yeah, this is a new one I added this week because it's such a bummer and such a dagger. But Erling Haaland's late penalty goal. You and I both captained Saka against Haaland. It was looking great. Saka had 2 assists, which he got 1 taken away originally, then given back in the morning. So Saka's on 11 points. Haaland's on 8 points. Haaland has like maybe 1 shot in the game. He was anonymous except for that 1 header. Palace's center backs completely marked him out of the game. And then what happens on a Palace corner leads to a breakaway for Savinho. Both the 2 center backs at midfield, or 2 defenders for Palace midfield, both slip. Savinho has a free run at midfield on goal. Tries to go around, what's his name? The Palace keeper.
Henderson.
Tries to go around Henderson. Henderson takes him down, and Haaland's like nowhere to be seen on this play. Gets a cheap late penalty, easily goes up to like 13-pointer, and we're down on the captaincy against Haaland.
Yeah. Yeah, just terrible beat, terrible luck. I mean, I was feeling so good, especially after Saka got that second assist back. I was like, all right, we're sitting pretty. Like, take on Haaland finally is worth it. And then, yeah, we got that happening. So I can agree with that.
And like we're watching the game too, and Haaland's like feeling great about it because Haaland's nowhere to be seen in the game, not getting a sniff. And then that happens, he gets subbed out right after that. Just unbelievable how this game works. Unbelievable.
It is.
Like he did not deserve that second goal, those points whatsoever.
At all. That being said, I need this guy to perform for me. I need Haaland to perform for me this week because I think I'm going to triple captain him against West Ham. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not feeling great about it, but I don't really know when else to use it.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
All right. Funny moment of the week. What do you have for this?
This is Bassey's run for Fulham. Picks the ball up in his own half, or wins the ball in his own half, does a little give and go, gets the ball, keeps dribbling, makes it all the way down to the box, makes a sick cut back, picks his head up. He's got like 2 players he can play the ball to. I'm assuming on his weak foot, goes to shoot it, because why would you not, when as a center back making that run, when you kind of got the game in the bag, and just skies it. It's high, it's wide, it's nowhere near the goal.
Yeah, that was like that was hilarious. And then watching Iwobi and Chukwueze roast him for it afterwards was even funnier on the team bus. Iwobi making jokes saying the ball got to AFCON before us. It's hilarious.
So good.
And I do think, I'm pretty sure he's left-footed, and he was cutting in onto his left, I think, or no?
He sat the defender down with a sick cut on his left foot, picks his head up, goal's just there for him.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I'm like pretty sure he's also a left-footed player, which probably makes that finish even funnier.
It was such a bad finish.
Ancora Messi, and then shot the ball like an amateur, in the words of Chukwueze.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a left-footer as well. which is hilarious.
Wow. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt that was his weak foot because no way that was his strong foot. But just peak Calvin Bassey. Yep. Also love the blood of Jesus they kept saying on the video too.
A nice Nigerian phrase right there. Very authentic from all of them. I love how many Nigerians Fulham has though in their starting lineup.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely peak Bassey behavior. Definitely gave me way too many chuckles watching both that original play, but then the rundown from Iwobi and Chukwueze after was like cherry on top.
And you said Bassey was filming that too?
Yeah, and Bassey was recording it, laughing at himself the whole time, cracking up as well.
I feel like Bassey's a funny guy. I feel like he had to do it for the bit. Like he had to shoot that. There was no he had no other thought in his mind other than going for goal. He never thought about passing that ball once he got in that box.
No. Especially after he pulls off that chop, he's like,
"Yeah,
I'm definitely shooting this for sure."
You have to.
And I can't blame him, man. Got to finish the play. Let's see, but that wraps up our awards of the week. Unless you've got a rogue hot take you didn't think of.
No, I'm sitting out hot takes for a moment with how bad my Villa one is looking.
Fair enough. I mean, it felt like a great one at the time. I still need to watch that video you sent me breaking down Villa and their recent success.
Yeah. What is like somewhat validating is that I saw multiple videos after the fact talking about how poor Villa's numbers were. I hadn't seen them before I was making this hot take. So I feel a little validated that other people had the same thoughts. So we're noticing the same trends, but they're proving everyone wrong, obviously, right now.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe United will be the team to stop them. I think we play them Sunday. We play them this coming Sunday. Actually, I take it back. I'll talk about this in my United versus Bournemouth breakdown here in a second, but when I go to the looking ahead section, I was going to mention we play Villa Sunday, but Casemiro is suspended. We lose Ahmad and Mbeumo to AFCON as well, so we'll be testing out a lot of new. Going to be down a midfielder, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But excited for the test anyway. Moving on to our Arsenal and United breakdowns of their matches. I went first last week, so I can let you start with the Arsenal versus Wolves game real quick.
Okay. So, yeah, sounds good. So, yes, Arsenal pulled out a 2-1 win over Wolves. It was an uncomfortable win in the end. Should have been a lot more comfortable. But in terms of team selection, we had Saliba return to the starting lineup, which was great. I think that was pretty surprising, of course. Arteta wasn't giving anything away. Had a lot of FPL consequences, especially a lot of people on free hit like myself. Luckily, Ben White also started at right back, who I picked up on free hit. Unfortunately, he only lasted 30 minutes, so that killed me. Timber started at left back with Ben White starting at right back. And then we had Gyökeres get the start up top, and Eze also started, filled out by the rest, like the usual suspects. I expected Eze to start. I didn't expect Saliba to make it in. Eze wasn't very good, though, unfortunately. He was pretty anonymous. I'll get to some performance stats later, but Gyökeres was also a little disappointing. But in terms of the match summary, it was a pretty boring game. Wolves sat back a lot, tried this on the counter, didn't have too many chances at all during the game. But we were just pretty uninspiring throughout the game. I thought Saka worked the right wing really well to create some chances in the first half, had some good crosses that we could get on the end of. We had no shots on target in the first half. I think more so just not being able to have the right movement in the box, part of Gyökeres' problem at the moment. Ben White went off in the 30th minute after pulling his hamstring. Really frustrating the way that this happened because we had a long throw. The long throw led to a breakaway for Wolves, and that forced Ben White to get into a full sprint and end up forcing him to pull his hamstring. So really frustrating to lose another defender to injury, especially one that's been injured in the past, and one who I thought was playing really well. I thought Ben White had some phenomenal performances, and I was really excited about having him at home against Wolves, where I thought he'd be doing a lot of overlaps, good for fantasy, perspectives and everything, but it is what it is in terms of our injuries. But yeah, it ended 0-0 in the first half. Finally, we scored off of a Saka cross. This one came off a corner, hit off the post, deflected off of Johnston, and went in for an own goal. Wolves then scored in the 90th minute. It was a pretty good goal, good cross. Hincapié was kind of pinned back by the massive striker they have who flicked it on.
Yeah.
I do think if we have Gabriel in there, he's more physical with the player and doesn't let him get that header off. They could still score that, but I just think Gabriel doesn't let that guy get that position, or kind of like bodies him off of it and forces him to maybe miscue it. But then thankfully we go back down. Saka puts in another phenomenal cross from open play, and Gabriel Jesus is there but doesn't quite get to it and comes off the Wolves defender and goes in for an own goal. So we get the win in the end. But so that was match summary. In terms of overall performance thoughts, pretty disappointing from us. I thought we had controlled the game fine, but with Wolves sitting back, we had nothing going for us except for Saka on the right wing. I thought Saka was great. He was constantly sitting down one or two players, getting his crosses off and putting his phenomenal crosses. Just don't have the players in the box to make those runs. Gyökeres was not getting on the end of things. So I thought Gyökeres was looking a little slow. His movement wasn't great in the box. And then in terms of other performances, Eze was pretty anonymous again. Got subbed off in the 56th minute. Those are most of my performance takeaways. Saka was great. Gyökeres was meh. Eze was meh. And the rest of the team was fine. We just didn't really create enough apart from Saka.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can agree with all those takeaways. I watched a good bit of this match, but then missed pieces of it. But I think one thing that stuck out to me that you've already raised a couple times is the Gyökeres situation. Because I know Arteta came out after the game and basically said, we're not giving him enough service or not putting the ball in at the right times and things like that for him in order to maximize him. Is that the read that you got, or do you feel like he's just kind of trying to protect him and you feel like he's underperforming?
I think it's a little bit of both. I do think that Gyökeres, I thought Saka put in some phenomenal crosses, and there were at least one or two that I thought Gyökeres should have been on the end of. There was one that fizzed right across the 6-yard box, and Gyökeres should be there to finish that for sure. But I also don't think we're playing to Gyökeres' strengths, which is him running in behind, running on goal, and being able to blast it with his left foot, which has got him so many goals in Portugal. So I guess in that sense, we're not playing to his strengths in terms of not playing the way he likes to play. But I do think he should adapt, and I think he's been with the team probably long enough now to where he should know where to be in the box for Saka's crosses and whatnot.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I need to probably watch his performances more closely. I feel like I haven't really been watching Gyökeres as much. I feel like I was glued in on Saka because I captained him, and then my defenders, I was glued in on watching what Timber and Hincapié were doing. So I didn't watch him as much. And then the other player I wanted to ask about was Martinelli got his first start in the league in a while, unless he played last week. I can't remember. But long story short, I don't think he gets many starts in the league. I was wondering how you thought he did on that side.
I missed a lot of the first half because I was traveling back. I thought he was okay. I don't think these games are well suited to him to where the opposition is really sat back. He had one play where he beat, I think, Doherty, and got in behind and had a cross shot that fizzed across. I think he was shooting there, put it just wide. So he had a couple plays where he, at least one where he was able to get in behind. But I just thought we were going down the right side so much during the game that I felt like he wasn't that involved, honestly.
Yeah.
We were hammering the right side so much that game.
Yeah, and I feel like he's not one that really knows. I think, like you said, the game didn't really suit him as far as going down the right side a lot. And then I feel like he's also one that doesn't as much as I think he's a good goal scorer when he can get into those positions. I don't know if he's one that is gonna be a poacher in the box as much. I think it's more so when you can get him running in transition, like you said.
Yeah, there were a couple of chances. He's on the back post for the Saka crosses, and he was not quite there where you want him to be. He's not like Sterling, who used to just sit on the back post for tap-ins all the time. And And then one more thing, going
Makes
back to
sense.
the Gyökeres point, there was one time we found his feet in the box. He was able to like pin down his defender, almost like a basketball move, and spun him a little bit and got a shot off that was just wide. I think if we could get the ball to his feet more in the box, that'd be nice, as opposed to just putting in crosses from the right side. Because
Yeah.
yes, he should be there for those crosses, but also we're not finding his feet like at all in the box. We had
Yeah.
nothing coming from the middle or the left in terms of creativity. Like everything was only from the right side from Saka putting those crosses.
I think that's a good point that you raised as well, because I think coming into the summer, like I was looking at Gyökeres a good bit because United were linked it with him, and that was one criticism I saw of his game was he's not really like for as big and physical as he is, he's not great in the air. So it's not like he's going to score most of his goals from like well-timed runs and heading the ball. Like I think he's definitely a ball to feet and then being able to cause chaos in the box because he's strong, but also has a wicked shot on him when he can't get it to feet. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and I believe he spun the defender and got on his right foot. Unfortunately, not his left foot.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Any other takeaways from the game? I feel like nothing else really stuck out to me from this one. Like the things that I was gonna point out was I thought Saka was great. I thought Ben White going down was pretty brutal. I think he's someone that has looked like he's been getting back up to speed for Arsenal and performing really well. I think he has such a good relationship on that right hand side with Saka and Odegaard when he plays. I was seeing discourse online about people being disappointed with the Gyökeres performance. But granted, this is no new thing on Twitter. If anybody knows who that guy is, and he's kind of had a thing against Gyökeres before they even signed him. So I take what he says with a grain of salt and try and balance it out and look at it myself. But yeah, other than that, not too much to take away. Interesting that the game was as tight as it was. Like I was disappointed that United conceded one, but we at least scored four. But I think maybe Wolves felt a little bit more expansive at home versus away at the Emirates. They probably like, let's just really, really sit deep, keep it tight, not give anything up.
Yeah, I really didn't think they had much going for them at all in terms of goal scoring, but they were able to get one in the end.
Yeah, and I do think that performance, though, I guess to speak from a Wolves perspective, I hope it gives them some confidence moving forward that they can get some points because they were minutes away from getting a huge point against the league leaders. So if they can do that to Arsenal, I feel like hopefully that gives them confidence that they can at least go out and get some more points to end the season and get a little bit more momentum, give their fans something to root for.
The only other point I want to make about this game is with Jesus back, it's going to be really interesting to see how Arteta uses him because we haven't had him in so long. He came on at the end for Gyökeres. Looks like he's moving pretty good, better than I expected him to, honestly. I have no idea how his finishing is, how robust he is, how long he can last. But it is just nice to have another striker option in the team. So I am just interested to see how Arteta uses them, if he will start soon, what his level's at because we've had so little time. But it is nice to have another striker back.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm not even really sure. It just goes to show that more of that Arsenal depth that you guys have. You guys got a lot of options, a lot of different types of players.
When we're healthy.
When healthy, yeah. All right. If that's it for Arsenal versus Wolves, we can move on to United versus Bournemouth. Once again, this was my match of the week. 4-4 at Old Trafford. It was an exciting one as well. There's obviously chances going both ways, as you can tell by the scoreline. But let's see. Where do I even want to start with this one? I mean, I guess I can start with the team selection. There's nothing too notable there. I think the one thing that I was really looking out for in this match was that before the match started, probably about it might have been the night before, actually. The night before this game, there was an exclusive put out on The Athletic from Laurie Whitwell talking about how Ruben Amorim alluded in his pre-match press conference for Bournemouth, saying that we're going to have to change the way that we play, almost referring to the system with AFCON coming up and us not having the same players available. We can't play the same way, I think were his words. I'm paraphrasing there. And then apparently it was told that before the Wolves game, he addressed his players and said, Changes are coming. Be ready. Again, alluding to maybe the system and talking to some of the players that aren't playing as much. And then it came out that Ruben Amorim had been training a 4-3-3 or a four-back formation all week leading up to the Bournemouth game. And I think I don't know if he was considering doing it for the Bournemouth game or if he was just trying to prepare for weeks past. But that was something that I was looking out for. That all the hype on United Twitter was like, oh, we're going to line up at a 4-3-3. Kobbie Mainoo's going to start this, and that. That didn't happen. We lined up with the same 3-4-3, Casemiro and Bruno in the pivot. So I think United fans were a little disappointed in that, but they forgot that disappointment immediately because United started this game really, really well. Going into the match, I guess the one change, by the way, was Yoro in for Mazraoui because Mazraoui had to go to AFCON early. But other than that, same exact lineup. And then United started the match really well. First half, like the first 20 to 30 minutes of that game was the best I've ever seen this team play under Ruben Amorim. It was everything that you want to see out of a United team. It was pressing high, winning the ball back, lots of aggression. We were winning our duels. We were creating chances for fun. And it wasn't like Fugazi lucky chances. It was just like actually suffocating Bournemouth and them not being able to get the ball out and us just relentlessly attacking and having good attackers on the ball being able to create chances. That led to Amad Diallo's goal, and it looked like we were going to cruise from there. But we could not. We missed multiple chances after that. Should have been 2 or 3-0 up at this point, but then late in the first half, Semenyo has the ball break to him. He drives right at the United back line, and Aiden Heaven probably should have done better. He did not get over or really put like any pressure on Semenyo. Semenyo basically had a free run into the United 18 and was able to pick his spot. He placed it really well, fair to him, but I think someone should have put more pressure on him. I think Aiden Heaven should have shifted over, but it was just a lack of experience. He's a 19-year-old kid. It happens. And then, United are a little bit down because we felt like we should have been 2 or 3 goals up, but it was 1-1. But then right before the half, Casemiro scores a header off a corner from Bruno, which at this point, it feels kind of like inevitable each game that Casemiro is going to get on the end of 1 or 2 really good chances from set pieces. I don't know how he does it, but he just finds himself in the right spot and always gets ahead to it. I mean, his head's a little big, so maybe that helps. But and then Bruno's deliveries to him have been really, really good as well. And so we go into the half, United up 2-1, and you're thinking, okay, we saved ourselves from a little bit of the embarrassment of not being up more than we should. We're still winning. Let's go out and finish off this game in the second half. Second half starts 6 minutes in. Bournemouth have scored 2 goals, and they're up 3-2 in this game. In a game where you thought United were absolutely dominating, and the goals just kind of came from the first one happened literally the first time Bournemouth touched the ball in the second half. United started with the ball. We kicked it long. The ball bounced around a little bit. Bournemouth got the ball, and it was probably 2 passes. They found Evanilson in, and he finished clinically, and it was 2-2. And then 5 minutes later, we give the ball away in the middle of our midfield trying to attack and go get the goal back. Had no one back, and it was Bournemouth getting a free run at our back line, and Casemiro had to take out Tavernier at the top of the 18, or else he would have got a free shot on goal, and didn't really matter because he scored the free kick anyway. I thought Sonalaman should have done better. He was positioned to save it, but he kind of got caught. When keepers are doing their hops to stay on their toes, he kind of got caught mid-hop and then couldn't get back down to the ground to set his feet and then dive in time. And so that made it 3-2 at that point. And then United fought back well. That once again, I think that's a theme that we've seen. That start to the second half felt like the start to the second half against Nottingham Forest, because again in that game we were up 2-0 against Nottingham Forest, and then he came out and scored 2 goals against us, I believe, or maybe it was 2 goals to go up 3-2. I forget what it was. But long story short, Nottingham Forest came out in the second half against us and scored 2 goals really, really quickly, 5 minutes into the half. Absolutely shocked us, but we responded well in that game, and we responded well in this one. Bruno Fernandes wins a free kick at the top of the box, puts an absolute belter into the top right corner. We already talked about it for our goal of the week, but just what a moment for Bruno Fernandes. I think the pressure was on, and to put the ball in the top corner like that was really, really impressive. And then a couple minutes later, maybe 5 minutes later, not even, I think it was 2 minutes later, Cunha, we get a breakaway The ball falls to Cunha in the middle of the box as Senesi tries to clear it, but can't, and Cunha puts it away. And United are up 4-3 late in the game, probably about the 80th minute. And you think, okay, all the momentum shifted back towards United. They should close this out. But they don't. 10 minutes later, there is just a simple throw-in situation. Granted, we have our more attacking players on the field because we put them in so that we could chase the goals to get us back into the game. But off of a throw-in, we just can't really close down Bournemouth's player in time. It flicks out to their, I think is either left back or right back, Jimenez, the Mexican guy. I think it's the left back based on where he's positioned. But he basically found the ball in the middle of the field and was driving at our back line. And Ahmad probably could have and should have just taken him out, taken the yellow. He's going off to AFCON anyway. But Ahmad did not. To be fair, I thought Ahmad was still going to get a block in with how close and tight he was, but the ball trickled through. And I think our defenders weren't prepared for it to trickle through. You saw Lisandro Martinez kind of marking Krupi, but not thinking, basically thinking in his mind there's no way he actually gets the ball in this situation. But Krupi does, takes a really nice first touch with his right foot to set it up for his left and hits it. Honestly, really, really great finish. I hated it because Bert has been banging on about this Krupi guy, and he was.
Let you hear it?
Oh, go ahead.
Did he let you hear it?
He let me hear it, and he was in my ear all game too because he was trying to complain. To start the game, he was talking about he's got this agenda against Bruno Fernandes. He says Bruno Fernandes is not a good player. He thinks he makes United worse, and he claims that Bruno Fernandes' goals and assists are fake because they're not from open play and this, and that. And he was like, Bruno just gives the ball away and causes United to get scored on. And in this game, Bruno had a bad touch in the midfield, which from what felt like a bit of a hospital pass from below, but it led to Bournemouth's third goal. And so he was letting me hear about Bruno after that. And then Bruno goes and hits that free kick. So I let him hear it back, even double. I was like, you see that? And then the hype died down pretty quickly because then Krupi scores his goal. And he lets me hear it about the Krupi situation. So it was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions and a battle between me and Bert there. Yeah, good banter back and forth. But long story short, Krupi's goal in the 84th minute made it 4-4. And then at that point, it felt like anything could happen. Crazy, crazy game. Goals back and forth. United led 3 separate times in this match and gave up the lead all 3 times. And then Bournemouth had a couple late chances in the 96th and maybe 99th minute or something crazy like that to win it. Lamens made 2 huge saves to keep the Old Trafford halftime record intact. If you guys aren't aware, when United are leading at halftime, they have not lost in over 370 games or something like that at home, I should say. Leading at home at halftime, it's been over 300-something games. The next highest streak is, I think, Liverpool and Anfield at 170, and then after that, it's 28 or something like that. So pretty crazy record that United have at Old Trafford, especially in these last couple of seasons where United have been pretty shambolic. You'd think that would have been broken, but Simon Lamens saved that record. So that is my match summary. Talking about overall thoughts on the performance, like I said, crazy game, and my biggest takeaway was I think a lot of United fans, despite the result, from what I saw, were very, very pleased with what they saw because I don't know how to explain exactly why, but what we saw from United in that first 30 minutes was extremely encouraging. And it was, like I said, I think everyone can agree it's probably the best 30 minutes we've seen under Ruben Amorim so far. Obviously, you want to see that the whole game, but it was really, really encouraging. And I thought United were pretty good for a lot of this game, and it was just individual moments and mental lapses. It was a couple moments of inexperience in the defense, and then a 6-minute mental lapse in the second half. Otherwise, United were probably, in my opinion, by far the better team in that match. And the goals that we gave up, I know we gave up 4 goals at home, which is pretty unacceptable. But if you look at it in context, we don't have Maguire's hurt, De Ligt is hurt, Mazraoui had to go to AFCON. Those are some of our most senior defenders with the most experience. And that meant that we had to line up with Lenny Yoro, who is 20 years old, not that experienced in the Premier League. Aiden Heaven, 19 years old, has probably played 4 Premier League games ever. 5 maybe. I don't even know if he's played that many. And then Luke Shaw, who I thought Luke Shaw was good in this game, but then we have Sana Lamans, who's a young keeper as well. And then if you look at his midfielders that are protecting that back line, that inexperienced back line, it is Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, who, both are playing well going forward, but they don't have the recovery pace to help against a Bournemouth team that does know how to break quickly and break fast and is really clinical when they do. So I chalked the goals up to some individual mistakes and just basically lack of experience in that back line. It's really hard to ask those two guys to come in and try and keep everything organized in the back. So I can live with that. And then what we saw going forward was really, really encouraging. So overall, I'm actually pretty pleased with that performance. And then as far as individual performances go, I really liked the cameo that I saw from Kabi Manu, who came on around the 60th minute and provided a lot of what I feel miss in that midfield, which is just some control. The game got chaotic, as you can tell by the scoreline, and he kind of came in and was able to receive the ball under pressure in situations where I know Bruno and Casemiro would not have done as well and help us keep the ball, retain the ball. He helped kind of link up. I think he's so good in these small spaces, and we have good small spaces players. When you have someone like Bruno who has high football IQ, Kabi Manu linking up, and then someone like Cunha, Mason Mount, all these players almost doing little mini rondos all over the field. I think it works really, really well for us. And I think that's something that Kabi Manu unlocks for this team. And so he put in a really good performance. And I was really happy to see that. Other players that I thought played well were Cunha was all over the pitch. He did a lot for us moving forward. But then there was points in the game where he tracked back and made last-ditch tackles, which I thought was awesome. Ahmad played really, really well. Probably deserved even more than the goal that he got. Bruno was Bruno. The only player I was really disappointed in was Mbeumo. I thought he's been shaky for the last month, and today was more of the same. He just looks like he's just low on confidence, and I'm not really sure what to do about that. He's going off to AFCON, and maybe the time away from the team will help. He's going to be playing a lot of minutes, so I don't think he's going to necessarily come back energized, but he was one that I was a little bit worried about watching throughout this game. I think he was about the only player that was kind of killing attacks for us in this match. It was good to see Benjamin Sesko back after his period of being out of the team. He was the one that created Cunha's goal to go up 4-3, so shout out to him. But yeah, I think just going back to the performance, I just want to reemphasize how interesting I thought it was that some fans were still disappointed in the result, but I think it's just people being reactionary, not really paying attention to what they're seeing. Even Gary Neville was even at 3-2 down, Gary Neville was even if United lose this game, I would rather them go out and lose the game like that by going for it and trying to score goals and really just taking it to teams at Old Trafford rather than playing it like we did at West Ham and Everton, where it just looked like we were way too defensive, too scared to go forward, not really making things happen. He was I'd rather see that, and I agree with him because I think the defensive stuff we can tighten up, but I was really worried about our ability to create from open play, and I thought we looked a lot better at that in this match, particularly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my main takeaway was that the Evan Nilsson and Krupi goals were way too easy, going right down the middle of your defense. But I agree that it is Aiden Heaven, I think, was out of position partially for the ball to Krupi or the one to Evan Nilsson, and I think if Harry Maguire's in there instead of Aiden Heaven, he stops at least one of those goals. So that was my main takeaway, because I think you hit on basically everything else. But yeah, Aiden Heaven started at 19, where he was getting no time at Arsenal at all. It's pretty wild to get thrown in for a club like United. So you can't really expect too much from him. So I do think if you got Maguire in there, he stops at least one of those goals and you guys probably get the win.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment as well. It was just little things like that, especially in that center, in that center, and when we set up with three center backs, if you're that central center back, you kind of got to be a little bit of a backline leader, because with Luke Shaw having all the experience that he does, he can't be communicating with Lenny Yoro, who's playing all the way on the other side. So that's a tough ask. So I'm not too worried about the defensive stuff. The other thing I meant to call out was, I want to give Ruben Amorim his flowers, because I thought he did really well. I thought he did really well with his in-game management, which has been my biggest gripe with him as a manager, more than anything, is his ability to affect the game with his in-game management, because the subs were good. He brought on Kabi Manu. He brought on Lissandro Martinez, and it was maybe one other player, but regardless, the subs that he made were really positive and was like us going for the game. I mean, we had to at that point, obviously, but I thought he made the right decisions. Oh, it was Sesko that came on. And then on top of that, I really, really loved that he switched from like our usual back three setup to a back four mid game. It looked more like a 4-2-4 where Dalot was playing right back, Aiden Heaven and Lissandro Martinez were our two center backs, and then Luke Shaw was playing more of a traditional left back. And then we had more attackers moving forward, which is something that I don't think we've seen this season so far. Like maybe seen it in flashes, but not with like the personnel to actually back it up. So that was really cool to see because I want to see more offensive-minded formations like that. And, you know, with like the whole talk of like Amram training a 4-3-3 and 4-back and whatnot, it was really encouraging to see that because I do think that backs up that we are going to see more of that moving forward after we saw that in this game. And it worked really well, too. Like, I mean, it's what resulted in us getting our 2 goals to go ahead 4-3 at one point in this match. So that was really cool to see. Yeah, but unless you have any other things like takeaways on the game, I'll go to the looking ahead section.
Yeah, go for it. I don't really have anything else. You hit everything I was thinking anyway.
Nice. So looking ahead, we've got AFCON, so I'm definitely worried about what this team looks like without Ahmad and Mbeumo. Mbeumo hasn't been playing amazing, but Ahmad was really catching fire, and I don't think this system works. This 3-4-3 system does not work if you don't have Ahmad and Mbeumo in there, and if you don't have someone that can kind of play those natural wingback positions. And so I think Ruben Amorim realizes this, and that's where this 4-3-3 talk is coming from. So I think AFCON, while it's scary that we're going to be missing those key players, I'm really excited to see what the next evolution of this team looks like with us adjusting to being without those players. I think we're going to see a lot more Kabi Menu, or we should. But moving into my next big picture topic that I had was this was a damper on the night. So Kabi Menu performed so well in that substitute appearance, like I said. But then after the game, all these images started coming out of his half-brother, Jordan. He is an ex-Love Island star in the UK, this influencer, and he was at the game rocking a black T-shirt that had "Free Kabi Menu" in big text on it. And it definitely felt like a publicity stunt because it's, first of all, it's brick. It's cold in Manchester right now. It's like puffer jacket weather. And he was just chilling, no jacket on, just T-shirt that said "Free Kabi Menu" in big letters. Wasn't even facing the field. He was front row, but facing back towards the stands. And it looked like the pictures that he uploaded on Instagram looked like pretty professionally taken, like he was posing for it as well. It's not like someone just like caught a picture of him in like the wild. Like it was definitely felt like it was like a stage. Like, I'm going to stand here in this Kabi Menu shirt. I don't know if it was marketing for whoever created the shirt and they paid him to do that. I don't know if Kabi was in on it, but regardless, it sucked that Kabi Menu finally had a really strong performance in a United shirt after being out of the team. He got the most minutes he's played in a long time. He's going to have to play an important role in the team moving forward with us missing so many players in AFCON. And we're switching to a formation that suits him even better. But the story after the game was about Kabi Menu's brother. Got posted by Fabrizio Romano, a couple other big accounts and whatnot. And I just thought that was, I don't know. I hated to see it because it reminded me a lot of the Garnacho situation towards the end of last season with the Europa League. Kabi Menu didn't come out after the game and give an interview basically calling the coach out. But if you remember, Garnacho's brother posted on Instagram basically saying Amorim is throwing Garnacho under the bus for losing the Europa League final. And it was some of the aftermath of that led to Garnacho being sold and being kicked out of the squad. And so I hate that we have another example of a player kind of being upset with their current situation and then their family member kind of getting more involved in making things a bigger deal than it needs to be. I hope Kabi didn't know that he was going to do this, and I hope he didn't agree to it. I hope it was just kind of his brother like acting on his own, and like I'm really hoping that it was just somebody made the shirt, they're trying to sell them, and so they're like, oh, this is going to get clicks, this is going to get whatever out there, and it's going to make me money. I hope it was just that and not Kabi really trying to like start some drama or whatever with the club. But I'm really interested to see how Amorim reacts to this because I know he's going to be asked about it in the next press conference. And then I know Kabi Menu was planned to be a very integral part of what we do moving forward. So I'm interested to see if it affects his playing time, if Kabi gets punished for it, or like what the aftermath of this all is.
Do you think that's going to be? I mean, it sounds like you think it's going to be a big deal. I think I saw like the post. I didn't realize like Fabrizio's post, and like saw a couple images of his brother. I didn't realize it was his brother at the time. So maybe to me it didn't feel as big. But as an outsider looking in, I feel like it shouldn't be that big of a deal, unless
Yeah.
like Manu Kabi was like really involved with this and agreed to it and everything, and like had a say. It was kind of like supporting his brother in this. But to
Yeah.
me, it feels like it's his brother acting on his own. He was an ex-Love Island star. He's looking to get back in the spotlight somehow. So I feel like this
Yeah.
is his opportunity to get some fame for himself and boost up his career versus anything that Manu's doing. But it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how it plays out. But
Yeah.
it to me, as a non-United fan, not being in that sphere on the internet and on social media, it didn't feel as big of a deal to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope not. I hate that it got so much attention, but I agree that like it should. I mean, as long as Kabi wasn't in on it, which is like so hard to prove as well. Like I think then it is what it is. Just like let that be a distraction. I just hope it doesn't become more of an issue because, like I said, we should have been talking about how well Kabi Manu played and how much he helped the team and how much he needs to be playing. But instead, after the game, people were talking about this situation and whatnot, and it doesn't do anything to help him. Like I feel like as his brother, you should be trying to like do anything you can to like make his on-field situation better. And I just don't think, at the very least, it was a very ignorant thing to do. At the worst, it's a pretty bad example of like players not having respect for the club and like the manager. So regardless, it's not a good situation.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to monitor.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. We'll see how we line up. I mean, I feel like Manu has to play on Sunday. We
Yeah,
have
if you guys go for 4-3-3 or even regardless, but if with Casemiro suspended, right? But if you go 4-3-3 and he doesn't start, that's a bad sign.
I don't even think we have another midfielder that could start unless we put like Mason Mount there or something because our only three midfielders are Bruno Fernandes, Manu, and Ugarte. With Casemiro being suspended. So if we go 4-3-3, he has to play. And if we go 3-4-3, I still would hate to see Ugarte play over him because everyone knows Ugarte is just not nearly to the level Manu is. And even if you think he's a better defensive player, he has not shown that this season either. I think Manu actually had some great recovery runs and interventions in that game that showed that he could probably do the defensive role better than Ugarte as well. So we'll see. But yeah, that was part of my big picture looking forward was I'm excited to see how we line up against Villa. I think there's going to be a lot of exciting tactical tweaks to come, a lot to talk about from a United perspective. I'm interested to see the test of United. I think it's away at Villa, if I remember correctly. So interested to see how United respond to that test. It's going to be tough not having the players that we do, but I'm excited for it based on how we played against Bournemouth. We were sixth in the league. Failed at another chance to go up into fifth once again. We do seem allergic to that fifth spot no matter what happens, but we'll see. Hopefully we can build on that performance.
Do you think you guys will start in a 4-3-3 against Villa?
I did, but now that we don't have Casemiro, I don't know. I could see him just kind of maybe saying, like, let's wait till we have enough personnel to do this. But I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, I was going to say, like, my one worry about the 4-3-3 was like we would have to start all three of our midfielders, and then if any of them have to come off, we can't replace them. But I mean, I guess we could just switch back to the 3-4-3 system at that point if we got to take one off.
Or play Ugarte at the base with Manu and Bruno.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would start from the wings for you guys if you went 4-3-3? Would it be Cunha and someone, or Bruno on the wing?
Probably Cunha and like Mount, and then just like have our fullbacks be like overlapping fullbacks, kind of holding width, and let them kind of act as inside forwards, which kind of feels like it'll just feel like a the 3-4-3 anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's really tough because our two best right wingers are Mbumo and Ahmad, who are both gone.
Exactly.
Maybe we give Shea Lacey a chance. Shea Lacey's an academy kid, really good player. Sorry, let me switch my AirPod here. Shea Lacey is an academy player for United who's been coming up through the ranks for a while. I think he's only like 17 or 18 at this point, but really good player. And maybe we give him a chance. I don't know if we give him a chance at starting. That feels like a big ask to come in and start away at Villa for your first appearance for the senior team ever. But that's like our only real natural right winger replacement as I'm looking at the team. Maybe Dorgu, actually. He's played right wing. He played right wing a lot in Serie A. And he's a natural left footer, can cut in. Probably relieves him. Like, not that he hates the defensive work, but just lets him kind of sit up top and be a threat in transition, which is what he's best at. So I actually don't hate that.
Yeah, Bruno could play right wing with Mount in the midfield, but I feel like you definitely want Bruno in the midfield with how he's been playing lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's why I'm so excited, though, is because it's really hard to tell. And so it'll just be like something new for us to talk about, something new to analyze.
Yeah. Well, nice. Yes, we got that next weekend, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. All right. That wraps up our summaries, though. Do you want to look ahead to game week 17?
Let's do it. We finally got my... So, for predictions, we're tied up at 48 all. I got 5 correct last round, or I think I got 4, and you got 3 correct. I finally picked my first United result correctly this season, so...
Nice.
I'll take that, and move forward.
Hopefully that
with
means
it.
you're free to pick us to win without it affecting us.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to pick you guys against Villa with who you've lost. So
yeah, this is a crazy slate. There's only one Sunday game. We're the only Sunday game.
What?
Yeah, every game is on Saturday. Besides us, we play Villa on Sunday 11:30. And then Monday is Forest versus Fulham.
Dang, I hate not having a 9 a.m. Sunday game.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know.
There'll be a lot of multi-view going on Saturday.
Yeah, they constantly change up the formats. This past weekend, there were like hardly any Saturday games. There were like 2 weeks ago, they were like all on Sunday.
Yeah, right. Weird. I guess it's got to do with like the packed schedule and just trying to give people adequate days off.
True, yeah, I guess front-loading them.
Do people play midweek? Because United are the only Boxing Day match. What? That's weird, actually. Not to get too into the schedule here, but I'm looking at it, and United play on Sunday, and I was thinking maybe it's because they play, like, the farthest afterwards. But United are actually the first game after, in the following week. We play Friday, Boxing Day, the only Boxing Day match. And then... everyone else plays the following Saturday again, besides 2 games on Sunday.
Yeah, I think the boxing match is low numbers because the day after is Saturday and going into the weekend, so they figured put more games on the weekend, get more viewership and more attendance.
That makes sense.
Like not as many boxing match day games with it being on Friday.
I heard it had a lot to do with like TV rights and the people paying the money
I can see that.
Broadcast the games, so that would make sense. Gotcha. All right. Well, we can go back to the games this weekend. I didn't mean to get too far ahead of ourselves here. I am down to go first.
I think I went first last time. Or I think you went first last time. You want me to go first this time?
Yeah, actually that works. Let's do that.
Yeah, so.
All right. Starting from the top, game week 17 predictions. The first match we have is Newcastle hosting Chelsea.
This is a tough one. Newcastle just lost away. Chelsea just won, though. I'm going to go with a draw. I think this could be pretty even. Don't really trust either team at the moment.
Fair enough. We've got, after that, Bournemouth I'll do Wolves versus Brentford. I'll read from your sheet.
Brentford.
Okay. City versus West Ham.
City.
Okay. Brighton versus Sunderland.
I'm going to go with a draw.
Okay, I think that's fair. I don't really know what to think about this Brighton team, and I'm tired of having them in my FPL team.
Yeah, I just do not trust them at all.
Yeah, spoiler alert, probably about to ditch all those guys.
Yeah, Minta FPL fraud. Speaking of frauds.
Yeah, he's been very disappointing. He had some good chances against Liverpool, though, to be fair. Bournemouth versus Burnley.
Bournemouth.
Fair enough. Spurs versus Liverpool.
Liverpool. Spurs have been terrible.
Okay. Leeds versus Palace.
Palace's injuries are not looking great, but I still think they're good for it, so I'm going to go with Palace. Could see a draw, but going to go Palace.
Yep. Everton hosting Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Nice. Villa versus United.
Gonna have to go with Villa here. Villa have just been on a crazy run of form. You guys are losing Ahmad and Embremo. Not sure if Maguire's going to be back and if Heavens has to start again. So everything is just pointing towards Villa getting a good win here.
Fair enough. Last game is Fulham versus Forest.
I'm going to go with Fulham. They've been in a good run of form. Harry Wilson's been on fire. So at home, I like Fulham here. Even though Forest did just get a win against Spurs. Not really giving them too much credit for that because it was Spurs.
Fair enough. I think there's some solid picks in there. I'm interested to see. I don't know what I think about a lot of these, though.
Yeah, I really didn't look at the game or thought ahead about any of them, but everything felt pretty comfortable picking them. But
yeah,
so could be good, could turn out terribly though.
Fair.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, Newcastle versus Chelsea.
Yeah. This is a tough one. Like you said, I don't really know what to expect out of either of these teams. I feel like I'm going to go Newcastle.
Nice. And Wolves, Brentford.
I feel like Wolves are going to feel energized after that one. I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to pick Wolves.
I like it. I feel like they're at home. Brentford aren't a great team. Wolves can get a result here. Do I think they will? Yeah. No, but they can.
No. But I feel like it's worth the risk. City versus West. Oh, I guess you're saying it. My bad.
Yeah, City versus West Ham.
I was gonna say City.
Nice. Yeah, it feels like an easy, comfortable City win at home. And then Brighton versus Sunderland.
I'm gonna go with the draw here as well.
Bournemouth versus Burnley.
I'm gonna go Bournemouth.
Okay. Spurs versus Liverpool.
I feel like Spurs vibes are so bad and Liverpool is trending upwards, but maybe Frank Loxton at least gets them a draw is what I'm going to go with.
Okay. Leeds versus Palace.
This is a tough one. I feel like Leeds have actually been flying.
Yeah, they got some good draws recently, like hard-fought ones.
Yeah. I'm going to go draw on this one. I kind of want to pick Palace, but I'll give Leeds a little bit of an edge because they're at home.
Nice. And then Everton versus Arsenal.
Whew. I'm going to go Arsenal.
Villa versus United.
My brain's saying choose Villa, but my heart is saying choose United. I think Amram's got something for us.
Nice. All right. I'll be happy to see that happen because for my hot take, that is not panning out, but we shall see. Should be a good one. And then Fulham versus Forest.
Fulham versus Forest is an interesting one. I feel like Fulham have just been on fire, though, so I'm going to go Fulham as well.
Nice. One thing that was interesting, speaking of like the Everton-Arsenal one, Everton's at home, but I was shocked at how high Chelsea's clean sheet odds were last week playing Everton. I guess Everton's haven't been scoring many goals this season, which is true, but I was like really surprised that they were second in like the clean sheet odds last weekend.
Yeah, and I guess good money for it or good value for it too.
Yeah, I really wish I would have taken. That's why I went with Sanchez on my free hit. If we want to kind of just segue into FPL talk here,
yeah.
That's why I went with Sanchez on my free hit, and I was thinking about doubling up, but I just did not trust Chelsea enough and put a little bit too much stock in Everton. I guess being up to 7th. But I really wish I would have gone double up on defense because I was looking at Gusto as my defender of choice from Chelsea. If
That
I
would be
wasn't
huge.
if I wasn't going if I, in hindsight, I really wish I would have done Martinez and then Gusto because I went with Matty Cash, who got me a nice 0-pointer because I thought Villa would have been good for a clean sheet, but clearly got that one messed up. I was so pissed when I
Yeah,
saw those Gusto ones going because I had tinkered them in and was like looking at them, but ended up going Matty Cash.
that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's definitely brutal. And
But yeah, so
yeah, I don't know.
in terms of FPL, played my free hit last week. Got I think 75 points. It was fine. Definitely like boosted me probably 20 points for the week, I'd say, versus like what I would have done. But I also had 5 free transfers, so I probably would have brought in Foden. But I think it came out positive for me, but not as good as it could have been. I am happy
Yeah,
with Ekatike. Bringing in Bruno was also big for me, but that was in like Sanchez. But other than that, like not too many things really hit. Eze was a big disappointment with 1 point. Matty Cash was a huge disappointment with 0. White unfortunately got injured, even though Arsenal didn't keep it clean. Went after 30, and then Anderson with a 2-pointer. So my defense and Eze and also my Brentford attackers were the big disappointments.
yeah, makes sense.
Because I ended up not getting Harry Wilson because for Dango, and then not going for double up in the Chelsea defense, not trusting them, and missing out on Gusto. But it is what it is. I'll take it. Not terrible. Could have been worse, but not as good as I was hoping it would have gone.
Yeah, decent week still. But yeah, the variance you can have within the free hit is so annoying sometimes.
Yep.
Like that. I mean, I guess like you said, the clean sheet for White got wiped, so I guess maybe not too much there. But I do think he's been really good for you guys going forward as well. Maybe hoped Eze would have gotten more, like would have seen more goals out of the Arsenal team in general.
Definitely. Not even making it to
And
60 was brutal.
yeah,
Because that would have been 2 extra points there because we hadn't conceded at that point. Yeah, that's a
you're
big
right.
bummer.
And he probably would have got an early sub too before. He probably would have kept it clean.
Yeah, if he just would last like 3 more minutes or something, and he got subbed off at 56, so like 4 more minutes is all I was asking for. But yeah, he was just super anonymous and super disappointing.
Yeah, Ben White too. If he had made it, probably would have been an early sub out. You'd think.
Yeah, before the 90th, would have thought. But yeah, I guess for my team this week, I want to bring in Foden. I'm definitely going to do Bournemouth Foden, and then to afford that, I'll probably do Munoz to Gahey, and then I was actually looking at Delict to Michael Keane on Everton because Everton have a good run of fixtures coming up. But that's what I'm looking at. It kind of sucks to have to make 3 transfers to bring in to afford Foden, but I'll be taking out 2 red flag defenders. So in the end, still what I should do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I like those moves as well. Foden, this guy just keeps scoring. I don't really like. I mean, I guess I know how. Like he just sits here in the top of the box, near the box, and just waits for the ball to fall to him, and he just puts it away every time. But I mean, it's been crazy. I'm glad I've been able to kind of ride the Foden hype the last couple of weeks, and I guess moving into my team, that was my main move of the week. I was wrestling with it for a long time because I was like, do I give Mbeumo 1 more week or not? And thankfully, there was the question about whether or not he would be available for the game due to AFCON. I figured he would be, but the fact that there was like any doubt at all, and then I also know just like eye test, I've been watching Mbeumo and he hasn't been playing great the last couple of weeks. I was like, at worst, I'm probably giving up like a single goal return, whereas like I thought Foden like had the potential of scoring a couple, and so I was like, let me just get Foden in now. I was scared of the price rises as well. Like if he wasn't rising so much, probably wouldn't have done the move either. So kind of got forced into the move and then ended up working out for me, which is nice. And then the other move I made with my 5 free transfers was Calafiori out, and then bringing in Hincapié just because I wanted someone that was going to give me an Arsenal clean. I didn't want to miss out on that. I was like, I could just bench Calafiori, but whatever, and then they ended up not getting the clean anyway. But I think what did he get? He got the DEFCON. He got 2 DEFCON anyway and played 90, so that was good.
So you got 4? You got a 4-pointer?
4-pointer from him, yeah. So
Take it.
we take that. We take that. And then my main goal was to save up on transfers, actually. Like, I thought about making more. Like, I thought about Harry Wilson in for Minte. But I was like, let me just kind of get another week of information, save up on transfers, and have 4 to really kind of attack and, like, maybe have a leg up against people that went all in on the 5 transfers. Because I felt like my team was still pretty solid, and it did come out all right. Ended up getting 79 points. Green Arrow, I'm into the top 1 mil. So happy with how my team's looking. I got triple captain to play next, and that's kind of my big move for this week is probably going to triple captain Holland, and I need him to haul and really make up some ground on some of the other guys in our mini league because some of these guys have been really flying. But, I mean, my team for the month is doing well. I think I'm only behind Max as far as, like, monthly points so far, so I'll take that.
Wow. And what's crazy is that Max is like, okay, no, I was looking at the total. Oh yeah, you're just by Max. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think you went ahead of me 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you got a nice, healthy 23-point lead over me, which is fantastic given like that insane hit you took on accident earlier in the season.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it would have been up into like second or third. No, right around third place for you.
It was like a 36 point hit, whatever it was. So yeah.
You'd be like right into third place.
Yeah, but who's to say that like I probably wouldn't have made the same moves if I had made the wild card at the time. So like maybe it just worked out better this way. It's like that's my copium here.
Yep. I mean, having a triple captain, I think, is going to be a huge advantage, as most players, I would assume, ahead of you have all used the triple captain already.
Mm-hmm.
Max, Connor, Lucas hasn't, so he'll probably play his. Kush hasn't played a single chip.
Really?
All
season. My gosh, dude. He's got to use them, like, in the next 4 weeks now.
Yeah, I'm going to text him in our group chat and kind of flame him, because that'll be funny.
Yeah, he's got to just roll him out, man.
Yeah.
Because we get reset at what, 21 or 20?
No, it's like 19 or 20. Yeah, I think 19 is the last week you can use them, so he's definitely losing 2.
One of them,
or
two
one of them. Yeah,
17, 18, 19. Yeah,
I got 3 left to use.
Fair enough. That's funny. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do with my team. I think, like I said earlier, I'm sick of the Brighton guys. So I've got Minte and Welbeck and Verbruggen on my team, and I don't like the triple up on Brighton. Probably not going to waste it on a keeper transfer just because I feel like him and Dubravka rotate really well. So I think I'm going to bring in another midfielder for either Minte or Elliot Anderson. Doesn't look the best right now.
Yeah.
And Brighton does have some really good fixtures coming up, so maybe I should be a little patient. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I got 4 transfers to play around with, though, so I could really, really make some changes here. I don't really want to tear up my team, but we'll see.
Yeah, I do not trust the Brighton attackers. I'd say get them out. They got to be so frustrated, and you just cannot trust them.
Exactly. And Matoma is back in the picture as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Minte to Harry Wilson, if you can afford that still, seems pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Not sure what Fulham's fixtures look like, but
I feel like Fulham has like 2 good fixtures, and then they aren't that good anymore after that. So I'm like, I don't know if I've missed the train on that, like if I'm chasing points there or what.
You also never know with Harry Wilson, like when he's going to stop being on this heater.
Exactly. I'm kind of scared of that. So we'll see. I'm thinking about downgrading Welbeck to kind of like a useless forward, and then maybe trying to upgrade Minte to like Semenyo, maybe if I could afford that. I think that's where I'm leaning, but we'll see. I don't know.
I like Semenyo at home a lot for Burnley. That's why I brought him in last week. Was for like whoever they played last week, and then Burnley this week. I'm really happy to have Semenyo, especially because he's been like getting sold a lot up until this week. I'm sure he was probably going to prioritize one after he scored against United and has Burnley. But yeah, I like Semenyo a lot.
Yeah. See, that's probably going to be the move. But other than that, gotta get back in the lab and see. Like maybe I'll bring in Cunha. Maybe if I'm feeling that, just because he's going to be getting a lot of playing time with Mbumo and Ahmad being gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other United options that I'd think about because our schedule's still favorable. Like we're about to go play Wolves at home soon and a couple other matches that are going to be good. I think as far as fixture checker goes, they're probably like top 2 or something.
Nice. Yeah, actually, Semenyo, I like him for the next 2 weeks, but then he's got Chelsea away, Arsenal.
Liverpool, I think, at one point too. No?
No, not till 23.
Okay.
So a while's out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do feel like I remember looking and thinking like, not the best, but he's just kind of like it seems like a slightly fixture-proof player.
Yeah, and it's just nice to have a player you know is going to play 90 during this congested period, so he's never a
Yeah.
bad pick during this time. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please share, like, and subscribe. Let all your friends know to check us out. I hope you enjoyed the pod and enjoy the festive period as we get into it.